Hey everyone. All right, so in this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about a few things that I feel Disney really dropped the ball on recently. And these are management decisions that I think that potentially could be a major problem going forward. So let's begin. First thing is the watering down of certain things in the parks because of social issues. And what I mean by that is, for example, prime example is the Pirates, the decision they made for Pirates of the Caribbean to remove the Buy a Bride, the wench scene. Okay, this scene has been there at Disneyland for like over 50 years. And it's never really been a problem. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, they have to change it. It's silly. Okay, it's absolutely silly. And, we kind of are in an era in our society right now where people are kind of ultra paranoid about things. And I think this Pirates decision is a symptom of that. Okay, but this is where I have the issue for a couple reasons. Number one, Pirates were not nice guys. Okay, now that doesn't mean you have to agree with what they did. I don't agree with what the Pirates did, but we can't misrepresent who and what they were. Okay, they were not good people. So the attraction symbolizes and shows you what kind of characters these pirates were. Going in there and giving it like a 2018 edit, to kind of put like a watering down version of these pirates is detrimental. It's detrimental. It disregards history, and it disregards Disneyland's history. One of Walt Disney's 9 old men, Mark Davis, was in charge of that scene. That was his baby. And we're going to lose that scene now because of a current social situation where people are just being paranoid. It's sad. It really, really is sad. And if you think this is only going to affect the parks, you're wrong. You're really, really wrong. And I'll tell you why. Disney will not stop at altering attractions. Okay? What they will do, in my prediction, is they'll dip into the movies as well. Take a movie, a classic film like Pinocchio, for example. There is a ton of offensive stuff, like kids smoking, a ton of stuff in there that I could see it being a problem nowadays. People can't handle that. And I would hate to see Disney go in there and either edit Pinocchio and chop it up so it's more, acceptable for today's audiences, or just altogether stop releasing it like they did with Song of the South. Okay? I find that very, very sad. That as a society, we're not mature enough to handle this stuff, and that Disney could potentially, take it away. It's really upsetting to me. So I see this pirate situation as a very, very, very dangerous slippery slope and a sign of things to come. I hope I'm wrong. Guys, I really, really hope I'm wrong. But unfortunately, that's the way I see it playing out. Just getting worse and worse and worse, and Disney going in and systematically removing things from its history that they think people nowadays find offensive. Okay? And I find that extremely troubling and extremely sad. So that's number one. Number two is maintenance. Okay? Maintenance, maintenance, maintenance. Now, ever since the 50th anniversary for Disneyland, Disneyland has been very good at maintaining its parks. It really, really has. But lately, I'm starting to see it slide. Okay? I brought up many times in the past couple videos, actually, about how bad the castle looks. Okay? The overlay rooftops, the holiday snow top and the 60th anniversary rooftops, all those years of messing with the castle have really taken a toll on it. And now that the snow top roofs are off and the original structure is exposed, you can really see when you go to the park how bad those rooftops and how bad the castle looks now. Okay? Now, this is a major problem for Disney. Okay, and it's not just for nerdy Disney fanboys like me who want to see a perfect castle. It goes well beyond that. Disneyland is one of the most photographic places in the world. When people travel from like the Midwest or another country like Japan or China or Australia, what's the first thing they do? They take a family photo or a couple photo in front of the castle. And then what do? They post that picture on social media. They show all their friends and family. That castle is sort of a representation of our park. So if you have a castle that's falling apart and people from all over the world are sharing a picture in front of a falling apart castle, what does that do? It creates an image to people like, well, you know what? They don't really take care of that park in California. I'll just go to Florida instead, right? It's not just about pleasing the fanboys and having a perfect castle. It's a marketing issue. You have to have, out of all the structures at Disneyland Resort to take care of, that's the one you should focus on the most. That's the one everyone takes a picture in front of. It's terrible. It's a terrible business strategy to let that castle go the way it has. It really, really is. Now, for those of you, you might remember in the late 90s, early 2000s, Disneyland had a president. His name was Paul Pressler. And this was probably the darkest time in Disneyland's history, when they were closing a lot of attractions like People Mover and the submarines, and the upkeep of the parks were really terrible. You would walk through the parks and there would be chipped paint everywhere, and light bulbs would be out and they wouldn't fix them for a long time. This was a really dark time for Disneyland. Now, I don't want to see Disneyland go through that again. Are we there yet? No. I'm going to be honest with you. We're not there yet. It's not as bad as Paul Pressler's era, but we're heading in that direction. This is kind of what was happening with Paul Pressler. There were things in the park that were falling apart, and they just kind of let them sit. And we're seeing that with the castle now. So I really don't want them to go down that road again. I really don't. So it's a big concern. So those are my two things right now that I have an issue with how Disney has managed our resort and the ramifications, the possible ramifications of those missteps. But what do you guys think about what I've laid out here? What are your thoughts? Do you have any other gripes that you might have with Disneyland management and the missteps they've made? Something that I didn't point out in this video? Comment below. Thank you guys so much, really, for all your support. Follow me on Twitter at OrangeGrow55 if you have anything that you want me to discuss, have a question. Follow me on Twitter, get at me, let me know, and I'd love to address it here on a future video. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe. I do content on Disney all the time, and as always, have a wonderful day.